And welcome back, everybody. For the last series of the night, we have University of Cincinnati against William and Mary. I'm still Dane Chaco, and that is still Vincent. And we are still excited for all these matchups because so far they've had some twists and turns, and I'm hoping for the same in this one.
The twistiest and the turniest of matchups, only for you guys on the EGF stream. And well, I think this has been interesting. Is going to be interesting. William and Mary, University of Cincinnati, two teams that we've talked about before, but I don't quite have them up. Why don't you bring us through what these two teams are looking like real quick as we get into things?
And William and Mary actually a squad that has been somewhat mid-table, and Cincinnati is actually a team it's very hard to predict things out with them because actually they are a team that's pretty much new. They're only played 3 games this season. They entered into the back half within the spring, so they have a lot of place to climb and make their statement, and they're doing it well. They've played some tough opponents and pulled out some nice victories. They've been in a couple of collegiate tournaments and gotten some decent results, so I'm interested to see really what they can pull out, and so far they're putting a decent amount of pressure here on the William and Mary side as they continue to lob stuff on toward their goal.
They certainly are. They're playing that midfield pressure very well and really shutting down any attempt from William and Mary to clear things out. Right, playing around that mid line that we see, it makes things very difficult to contend with. And William and Mary, they've been forced to play defensively thus far and not really had a lot of opportunities to turn things around and get on offense.
Yeah, getting rejected, and that one will be past the side. Legacy, it's a nice clear, and using the wave dash, able to touch it one more time as all of Cincinnati's kind of forced to watch this one just tap around the middle as DX, not maybe the clear they're hoping for, but Ezio will lend a helping hand. And now marching down, a great 50. It's just going to go a little bit too wide into the corner. And Chimney gets dunked out, and Legacy another clear out. So a lot of ping pong going around here as both squads hitting it back and forth. But a nice even matchup, it seems, going into game number 1 as both squads still searching for that first strike.
Yeah, very much even. We've not really seen a whole lot on either side. And, right there we saw D-Hacks a little bit wide on the shot. So a couple of key mistakes happening here for either side, and right there we saw an open net from Cincinnati, not able to convert off the back of that of William and Mary. So everything being equal here, both teams really looking strong as D-Hacks finally knocks one in.
And sometimes you just get a little turned around, not enough boost, not enough of an angle, and Legacy not enough of a read on that one as D-Hacks just ready and waiting in the middle as the back post defender unfortunately got cleared out of the way by the rotating out Cincinnati player. But good offensive pressure will lead to mistakes, and Cincinnati trying to show that off. But good defensive pressure off the kickoff can yield a counter as Ladster answers right back.
Yeah, talk about that counter. You tried to get it cleared off the sidewall, and it just goes the wrong direction, and Ladster ready and waiting in the wind to just pick that up and knock him down 1-1 now. William and Mary return fire with a fast response.
You got to be so careful. Again, right off the kickoff, just getting to the ball a little bit quicker. You're just a little bit too low on boost. You're a little too spread out, and sometimes bang, slap it right down the middle, and William Mary answers back. And they're actually doing a fairly good job of just tucking these tiny touches past the Cincinnati defense as he decides not to go back into the mouth of the beast and will try to air dribble it away for them. But Chimney will be able to answer back with that one as a tap to the sideline. Cut out. They'll take a 50. Ezio waiting for it. They'll put it on target and just tucks it in that top corner. And that's a number 2 for Cincinnati.
What great aim on this ball. I mean, look at this. Just perfectly placed. The only spot realistically that Legacy can't make that play. And whenever we talk about ball placement, we don't oftentimes talk about it with that sort of degree of proficiency, but a great job there from Ezio to put it in the right position at the right time.
Now 2 players denied from William Mary, and on the counter, can Cincinnati put it away? Not at first, but second player will make sure it goes. D-Hacks nabs a second, and nice counterattack there, this time from Cincinnati.
Yeah, this time a big mistake here for William and Mary. Got caught off on those rotations. Ladster tried to pick up that one, but not able to find that with the fact that it was the double attempt, and on the second try was able to pull that off. So really good stuff there from Cincinnati, taking advantage of a momentary lapse of judgment for William and Mary, puts them up 2.
Now Legacy trying to bring this one into the corner. They'll throw it downfield, but Ezio equal to it will be able to get some touches and then some, bringing it all the way down, forces out an awkward defensive touch. So D-Hax from the sideline trying his same, but not to the same success as his squad mate, as that one will get immediately turned away. Now Legacy over the top, not on target. Can they get the rebound? They will, but it's going to go wide. Ladster on the follow, but a great save by D-Hax will keep this score line the way it has been emerged.
Poor Legacy, just not enough boost to continue on there and making that play. Still a great opportunity, just not quite enough on the follow-up for William and Mary. And that's kind of been the story of this game here, Taco. Like, you've just had some good opportunities for William and Mary. They've had a couple of good shots, but realistically, they haven't been able to finish at those crucial times that are necessary.
Yeah, but they have been still getting these opportunities, and that's at least worth something. The issue is that I don't really think that Cincinnati is too worried about them. They've been able to be level to it. They've been getting good saves, and I need to see that sense of panic in the Cincinnati eyes, and I think that's what William Mary should really aspire to. They need to start doing things like Cincinnati, throwing the ball in interesting positions and letting their players get on it as they smack in a fourth.
I want to know exactly how you're seeing the eyes of Cincinnati when they're driving cars. They don't have eyes.
Windows aren't tinted. Windows aren't tinted. No, it's fine. You can see you can see them.
Okay. I
think you need to upgrade your graphics card.
Oh, okay.
You're not watching this here at the same definition I am.
Must be it. Nonetheless, a great shot there from Cincinnati to put them up 3. And with the last 30 seconds, I mean, this is starting to get to be the point where realistically William and Mary are not going to be able to bring this back. But hey, once picking one up for the road never hurt nobody.
Certainly not. And with 20 seconds left, it looks like Cincinnati's trying to add some, as they'll get rejected off that one as they were denied by the crossbar moments ago. But still turning for it. D-Hax trying to touch it. J-Dimes and Ezio double committing on this one, but still sitting out in the middle. One more up the sideline. Can Ezio touch that in the middle? They won't be able to get it. D-Hax maybe. Let's touch on target, but Ladster says no to a 5th, but 4 is all you need if you're Cincinnati. They will be taking game number 1.
Cincinnati looking strong here, a team that I think we casted as well. Got a big upset at the time, and we were really surprised at it. This time, not so surprised. We saw them before. They're very much a strong team that can contend and doing just that. Ezio, D-Hax both with 2 goals here, making it look fairly simple in the shot differential. I think that's a main stat that I want to take a look at here, because it was 17 shots to 5 there, Cincinnati up. So that kind of goes to show you the difference in offense for both of these teams. And really, Cincinnati, it wasn't that they were necessarily committing on all the opportunities they had. They were just getting a lot more opportunities than William and Mary ever had. And unfortunately, William and Mary were just never able to actually work off of any of those, with that one exception that Ladster found.
Yeah, and the shots, I mean, they go a long way, because granted, you can look at the stats and say, well, it's a lot of shots and a decent number of goals, but they could have had more. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you don't need every single shot to go on target in terms of that's the intent to score. Sometimes just hitting it on target just to make the defense just panic a little bit, make sure they're getting on it, make sure they're using that boost up. It can draw in a nice boost starve and really get to the point where you're wearing down the defense. And Cincinnati is doing a very good job of that. They're making sure William and Mary is always aware of that next touch, making sure they're always trying to get on the ball before it's too late. And I think that level of fear that Cincinnati's instilling is what I want to see out of William and Mary. I think they're advancing the field, the ball down the field, but a lot of the times it seems like the ball just kind of gets thrown downfield and they don't really have a plan for it. They can get back to a planning stage, find themselves on passes. I think this is going to be a lot more even of a game too.
So what you're saying is, don't shoot bullets till you see the whites of their eyes on the William and Mary side. And, we'll see if they can do that here. We need to see some more shots on goal. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, pretty much all of my casting commentary revolves around the ability to see the other player's eyes. So yes, very crucial aspect of my casting. I will not be able to have any analysis without at least some visual confirmation. But Cincinnati doesn't need any visual confirmation. All they see is the goal in front of them, and they'll throw it downfield for D-Hax to slap in.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what a great ball. I mean, that's just such a good ball, right? And D-Hax in prime position. you just chuck it up there. It's a bit of a chip shot, right? But D-Hax is ready and waiting in the wings to try and make whatever, wherever that hits, work well. Assuming that William and Mary aren't able to get a touch on the ball, and they're not. So, just really great stuff and a good plan there for Cincinnati, even if it wasn't necessarily going to work out.
And now they're a little frustrated at midfield as J-Dimes is going to try to wrangle that one, but tough angle shows why it will be saved away. But we'll get a second chance here off the backboard. Ezio lurking his third man. He goes late, and that's what happens. Just a little bit of deflection around, but still attack not over for William and Mary. They're still trying to get this clear out, but so hard when you have such limited boost as still just trying to find any angle that they can get a solid clear out of their half. And now with a little touch from Ladster, they might be able to do just that as Chimney trying to take it slow and let his team move up, but Cincinnati just relentless. The Bearcats here in midfield really living up to their name.
Yeah, doing a great job of just controlling the ball, controlling the field, controlling the space, and really making it difficult for the entirety of William and Mary to really do anything at all with regard to ball control or even with regard to trying to create offensive opportunities for scoring, offensive opportunities to even get into their other side of the field even.
And now a nice goal line save coming out from William and Mary will prevent a second one from going in. Cincinnati still on the attack, however, but certainly 2 straight goal line saves give them a little bit of confidence going through. They are able to hold them off temporarily. It's just at what point is this levee going to break as some more shots coming in? And finally, Ladster will get a nice slap to the sideline. They'll be able to hit that one up, and maybe some more. Chimney off the backboard. They can't touch it. Maybe Legacy can. Another one over the bar, and D-Hax will be able to tap that one to the corner, and Ezio will complete the clear.
No boost. No boost. That's the story right now for William and Mary. It's been a tough one, and that's another example where they had a great opportunity, but 3 people, or I should say 2 people going for it, neither of them had enough boost to complete. Now another opportunity going low instead of high this time, and Legacy makes that one work with the bottom right corner.
I love this one. He has 2 defenders, so what he's doing, he just slaps it very light and really low. Both players trying to prevent the fastest shot from the far post, top shelf finish. They jump over it, and it's a nice, cool, calm, collected finish coming in from Legacy, and William and Mary will find themselves level, and it's a great finish to boot.
It's exactly what happens when you're in the wall formation there, and there's a kickoff, and you jump. And you're not supposed to jump because, they kick it right under your legs. That's exactly what happened right there for Cincinnati. And, you'll love to see it. William and Mary take advantage, and it's tied up.
Now with 2 minutes to go, can they extend this even further? They're trying with some passes. Chimney with the pre-flip, but Ezio will be able to turn that one away. Ladster trying to follow up, and we're starting to see something that's plagued other teams in previous matches this stream. They're getting a little bit too far up. J-Dimes gets the flick, but that one I thought was going to be cleared, but D-Hax will get rewarded with a second.
D-Hax on the third option, right? 2 players come in. You're like, that's it. And no, just kidding. D-Hax is ready to go. That's the triple commit that works out well. And you're like, well, I guess that would make sense. You're ready for the backboard shot, and he's ready off the side wall, the post. It makes it look fairly simple.
Now long ball across as Cincinnati tries to pass their way out, and it's going to work because D-Hax gets a dangerous touch, though. They will lob that straight up. Ezio and J-Dimes actually both calling each other off, and it's good they did because J-Dimes walking that one in.
Walking that one in, I think, is the right terminology here. Right? Literally just like, oh, hey, that's mine. Thank you very much. And a nice little smack from Chimney to help things out. But, Chimney, nothing you really could have done there. You're trying to make a play on the ball, and there's just other players there that are working out a little bit better. So 3-1 the scoreline now with 1:20 left. Still very much in the court here. William and Mary are very much able to bring this back, and maybe I should stop talking. That's a classic caster's curse coming straight in as Ezio slams in another goal.
That's why sometimes on the clear, you want to get it upfield, but that's exactly where all the players are coming from. And as it shows why you got to be careful, just going up and over that touch, and get quite the solid dunk into their opponent's goal. So William Mary now down by 3, but going to have to average quite the goal output in the remaining part of this game. But at the very least, they still do have another series life. This will only be a game 2 loss if they're able to not come back, and increasingly looking like the possibility as D-Hack's going to put in his hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, look at this one. Just a great pass, number one. You're going across the middle, and you try to clear that out, but a weak touch allows for D-Hacks to simply just hit the easy shot straight on target, straight down the middle, and it just looks very simple whenever those goals go your way. And D-Hacks, like you said, the hat trick is making it look very simple.
And now we're going to see William Mary spacing out quite a bit on this one, but they will be able to challenge on the sideline. Ezio, another shot coming in, just going to glance across the goal instead. And nice little back pass there from J-Dimes and D-Hex. It's nice to see Cincinnati definitely on the same page with each other. I feel like there's very little confusion. When there is double commit, one of them calls each other off, as we saw earlier. And it's nice to see they get results. And now we're starting to see William Mary get at least some results late with a bouncer for a second.
Yeah, weak touch from Ezio, allowing for Latzer to make a play, and the missed shot, or rather I should say the missed defense there, allowing for a nice shot on goal. You'll love to see that. Yes, a couple of key misses right there, allowing for that to go in on the Cincinnati side, but you get what you are given, and William and Mary are certainly going to take that.
Yeah, march down. They try to get that pass middle, but not going to work out. J-Dimes slow on the dribble. They'll take that to the back wall, but ultimately these things, they don't need any more goals. They're just trying to burn down this clock. Not like they really need to. They've amassed quite the lead, and they will get rewarded with a game 2 victory. Cincinnati moving on to match point.
Cincinnati has been looking really strong here and just consistently able to take advantage of where they, number one, are playing on their opponent's half. They are playing a lot of offense. They are not ever really playing defense. We see there's been a singular save right there for Cincinnati. That was by Ezio. And so whenever you're seeing the need not to play any defense because you're playing defense at midfield, that's just going to net you a lot of shots on goal, a lot of opportunities. And this one, William and Mary's defense simply struggled quite a bit here. And so it's just a little bit difficult, Danger Taco. I really have to say that Cincinnati are putting on a bit of a show for us. They're really stepping up, and William and Mary, albeit some valiant efforts, some valiant attempts, are just not quite there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is I feel like they feel very pressed into their corner and their half. And I think part of it is that fact that Cincinnati is playing a very good boost steal game. They're getting a lot of pads picked up. They're stealing the corner boost from the William and Mary side. But what William and Mary need to do is when they do get a chance to clear, they had several opportunities in some of those like long extended attacks Cincinnati put on to clear the ball, get a flick, just put something down, take a 50. But instead they kind of just like roll it away from them and hope for the best. And then it just gets pounded right back at them. I'd like for them to play more strategically, play to burn time, get that boost, because when they're on boost, they've had nice opportunities and they've been able to move forward and they've shown they can score against the Cincinnati squad. But I'm a little scared that they keep getting away from that play, and then the more boost drive they get, it just seems like they just barely don't have enough. Because as you remember, a lot of those goals for Cincinnati last game were just bare misses from the defense of William and Mary, or they just barely couldn't reach that touch. So they clean that up, they get that boost game. I don't see why they can't play a much cleaner game 3.
I don't see why they can't either. It's just going to be a matter of actually doing that and making that work for them. And so I'll be interested to see if they can do just that as we get into it here. And it's match point, though, for Cincinnati. They win this. They win the series, and D-Hack certainly wins that ball in the middle of the net, or rather right in front of the net, and easily knocks it in. Just right place, right time, well placed and on target.
Yeah, unless you see that pass coming, not really much you can do on it. No one on the back post ready to go up for it, but D-Hack's already up for it and able to spike that one down. So another great infield pass coming in from the Bearcats, and they'll get rewarded with a goal. So well-worked play and pays dividends.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're set up that well, D-Hacks is a player who's not missing those goals. So definitely just a well set up play, and now it's a matter of time. And oh my goodness, Ezio, how have you gotten away with this one? Does it all by himself. Takes the first, right? Makes a player miss, then gets the touch, and just barely makes Legacy unable to get back to that one. That was disgusting from Ezio.
And sometimes when that ball's falling, you see the player coming, you're just focused on, okay, how are they going to touch this? Are they going to pass? Are they trying to flick it over? And you forget that sometimes the Doomsday Dish exists. You can't just let it fall and tap it in yourself. And as it shows why you should always keep that in the back of your mind, a good finish. And what happens when you play with a very good player a lot of time on that ball.
Yeah, and well, that's another great ball. G-Hax wins the 50, able to get that, and the second touch is just so very strong. Here's another great example of where, like, that touch from Ladster on the clear is just so weak. You have to try and get a better touch, take a second and reset, and then get a good touch. Clear it to midfield instead of close by on the left side of your net.
Yeah, and William Mary now within the first 90 seconds already fallen a bit behind, but this UC team, I mean, certainly an intimidating squad with the amount of speed they're playing at. And William Mary still have some speed, though, almost getting on that infield pass and able to put that one away. But instead, you have to rotate all the way back as Chimney. It's a nice clear out. D-Hacks into the middle, but ultimately a giveaway. Chimney doesn't turn on this one. They'll opt to just rotate back, and Cincinnati taking another crack at it. One more touch into D-Hacks, but deflected to the sideline, and another attack is going to have to slow down as Ezio gets deflected, and it's going to fly back into the UC half.
A great clear. That's the kind of clears I want to see here from William and Mary. They have to start doing that more often in Legacy once more. This is the kind of game that William and Mary need to be playing. A midfield game, not a defensive game.
Yeah, they're certainly keeping great pressure, and at times the best defense you can have is just a good offense, and it certainly shows in UC's really refusal to let William & Mary out of their half, especially when they know they can keep the pressure on. It's one thing to rotate out for boost, but as long as they have one person on it, I mean, they're just going for touches like this with D-Hacks, not even to score, just to tap the ball into the corner so J-Giants can chase it and keep it high again. It's just very nice possession play and a great understanding within each other be able to keep that ball away from each other. Is all these long air dribbles causing so much havoc here, the William & Mary defense here, and it's showing that it's very hard to get under half when UC just feels like they're really controlling the flow of things.
Well, there's a good air dribble from Ladster off the sidewall. Definitely allows for some time, but it's once again just immediately taken away, and you have to start to wonder, right? Like this time of possession, if there was a timer on it, would look so incredibly one-sided for the side of UC that it's a little bit outrageous that they've simply held this ball for so very long in this game.
It shows when you rotate well and control boost, you can really control the pace of the game. And right now, UC is pedal to the metal on a lot of these challenges. Another one coming out in the corner from J-Dimes, and a dime of a pass straight down to D-Hacks is going to set up Ezio in the contact. Not quite there, though, and now Legacy going for a flick. They'll fake the first one. They almost tuck it under the second, and they will not be able to get that one to go. So good defense from UC will keep this one still at a 3-0.
Yeah, but again, it's that one opportunity that we saw right there on the offense for William and Mary, and then immediately back to the other half. So it's like fleeting chance after fleeting chance, and William and Mary are just not able to really convert off the back of it.
And J-Dimes is able to convert off this one, but again, it's just a matter of you commit someone real hard on that read, and unfortunately, their last back is just not ready for what happens when you don't get that contact, and that one will roll straight on in. So at this point, with a minute left, you just really have to send the cards. I mean, I'm always a fan of playing conservative and making sure you have this touch, but you have nothing to lose. UC is really taking this series, and I really can't think of many places, rather, within the series that they've really loosened their grip at all. This is not like an Arlington series. This is just really UC out for blood.
Yeah, they're just playing well and playing incredibly well. J-Dimes really doing an incredible job. Look at this touch. Makes the first player miss, and the second one to keep everything moving. Puts Chimney off of it, unable to read that ball very effectively because of that second touch by J-Dimes, and it's straight into the top right corner of the net. Easy does it. It's 5-0, and with 45 seconds left on this clock, I think it's just a matter of what the score is going to be rather than who wins.
Yeah, and this is definitely also a game that Cincinnati's trying to make their statement here within the league, because as we mentioned, they are a new team. They don't really have many results to go off of, but in the games that they have played, they have been very impressive, taking down RIT, I believe, and then also really showing off that they have no problem going through teams that aren't going to close them down, as J-Dimes, another open air dribble and another flip reset for the goal.
I mean, That's just another great shot, right? You love to see that. You love to see exactly what was being put on display there. J-Dimes, another one with the hat trick, now 3 in hand in this, what should be the final game of this series. Is now it's 6-0.
I mean, if that should isn't will be, then I'm gonna uninstall this game. So I can't really comprehend how that would happen, and it certainly won't. So you see, closing out a very nice series, and nice to see a team almost like warm up with everything as they've slowly gotten better and better. So a good victory coming through here from Cincinnati, and a well-deserved 3-0.
Well deserved indeed. Despite the fact that this was not the most one-sided matchup on paper, this certainly was the most one-sided matchup we've seen this evening, and Cincinnati just showing exactly what they're made of, showing that they are ready to play. They're definitely here to play for all the marbles in this league, and they have everything to prove. J-Dimes particularly playing incredibly well. D-Hacks as well. I'm saying that, and I'm realizing everybody played incredibly well, and I'm just making a fool of myself trying to specifically talk about one individual. I should say J-Dimes incredibly well in that final game, had that hat trick, but everybody stepped it up big time, and 6-0 there in the final game certainly tells the story of the sort of domination that Cincinnati were putting on display against William and Mary.
Well, it's a hallmark of a good team where you can't single out one player as the dominant player, where everyone can step up, everyone can make plays on both sides of the ball. And fortunately for us, we'll be able to speak to one of those players. I believe we will either have D-Hacks or J-Dimes coming in from Cincinnati for a brief interview. So we're going to throw you guys to a brief break as we get them in here. But don't go away. We'll be right back to wrap up our evening here for EGF Collegiate Rocket League. And welcome back, everybody, to our interview with a little bit of an unusual twist here. We will have two players in here. We will be having J-Dimes and D-Hacks, both from University of Cincinnati. Obviously, the victors of that last series. How you fellas doing, and how you feeling after taking a clean sweep there?
Yeah, I think we're feeling great. Obviously, we love to take a 3-0 victory, especially when it ends it ends in our favor by great margins. It was very fun matchup.
Yeah, I feel fast. It was fun to play. I haven't played in this league until tonight actually, because Cincinnati was a little bit late to get everything like situated joining it, but it was a good time.
Well, it's certainly a good time watching you guys really put on a show for us this evening, and we appreciate that here in the commentary booth for sure. Both of you guys in different games able to pick up the hat trick, three goals, and I want to start with you, D-Hacks. What were the feelings there? What were the thoughts? Did you really have? Was there any troubles that you guys ran into, particularly game 2 a little bit closer? If it was 5-2, so like by a little bit closer, I mean a little bit of a slimmer margin than the 6-0 sweep there in the final.
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting a hat trick is an amazing feeling, especially when you have your teammates' support and they're feeding you the ball. We went from game to game, just feeling out who has it in them to score. And I had that one game. Ezio had that one game, and Jack was feeling himself in the last game.
Yeah, J-Dabs, on to you. Kind of the same question about that. Anything to add on there?
I mean, yeah, whenever it's a hat trick, it's never the one player that had the hat trick who is like deserves the credit for it. It's always like a lot of feeding each other the ball and just working together. And I think a lot of people think that threes can be won on your own in different circumstances, but you definitely have to work as a team. And my team's nuts, so.
Well, going into kind of the future here, because you had a very nice performance, but I believe Vincent and I also casted you in previous weeks and had been looking through your journey. You did join this late, so it's hard to get really predictive sense of how you guys are going to do down the stretch. But I know with CRL qualifiers coming up, you guys are probably putting in a decent amount of work. Do you guys do put in the work consistently with trying to get scrims? Do you work on your comms, like look over things? Because you seemed very clean on the field, and it seemed like you were not getting each other's way really at all throughout that last series.
Yeah, so last couple of weeks have been crazy, especially for our team. As you know, Barry was here. We had Burst in here last week, and this week J-Dimes filled in the spot. But yeah, I mean, we try to get some games in. It's been a little rough, but we're just looking forward to CRL and the rest of the season here. Hopefully we win those games and produce results.
Well, yeah, like I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like he said, there's a handful of really good players that you see. It's not just like the three of us. And there have been a number of just extenuating circumstances this semester, kind of ruling out different people that could compete for CRL. But this is like the roster that was out there tonight is what we're going to try to qualify for CRL with, which is exciting. But it's just been sort of a long road, and so while everyone's been playing and putting in the hours and trying to become the best individual player they can, I think that as far as playing together as a roster, we still, like Dylan said, have been trying to arrange stuff, but have a little bit to go, just getting used to playing together.
Yeah, I mean, and best of luck, obviously, to you guys on that journey. We've enjoyed watching you here. We're going to continue to enjoy watching you all here. Quickly, though, final question. You guys have any shout-outs? Anybody you want to say hello to here? D-Hack, starting with you, and then we'll go to J-Dimes.
Yeah, so first off, my boy Croth2903, he's been my number one support throughout my whole career as a Rocket League, especially as a collegiate Rocket League player. We have our team kind of like mascot, Koopa. He's our teammate's turtle. He's a fantastic turtle. Love that guy. Barry, obviously he can't play with us anymore, but he's definitely been a great teammate to have in the past. And definitely J-Dimes and Ezio as my teammates. Love playing with them.
Good to hear. When you said team pet, I was kind of scared you're about to say like a bear cat.
Yeah, a little
and I was
bit.
thinking that's definitely illegal. I feel like we're obligated to call someone about that. But
Right.
glad to hear it's just a turtle, and glad to hear you guys have a lot of support, because certainly chat was rearing you up and you revved off of it. So best of luck in the future, and pleasure having you guys on.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was fun playing.
Alrighty. Well, we really appreciate these guys coming out, D-Hacks and J-Dimes there for University of Cincinnati. But unfortunately, Major Taco, it is about that time where we have to say goodbye to the good folks at home. We are at the end of our night. No more Rocket League here on the main stream, but we have much more collegiate action coming at you here the rest of the week. So don't go anywhere. Remember, we've got Overwatch tomorrow, so make sure to tune in to that. But with all of that being said, we really appreciate everyone who tuned in here. And with that, we will see you here next time for EGF.